The masking tutorial. In our last tutorial, we showed you how to use green screening and keying to do mask making, and using mats and all sorts of stuff to do green screen. We learned about getting all that sorted out so that we could make green screens. But we had this problem, and our problem was that in some of the parts of this there were some errors. So up here, because my green screen fell down in here, and that's my backyard grass, that's my backyard, part of my backyard house, well, not my backyard house, my house, and so that's a problem when we're doing a video like this or an effect. So we need to be able to mask out some of those areas. And there was another area over the front here that had a little dark patch. I think it's there. If we run through it, you'll see a little dark patch about there somewhere. It's not always terribly visible, but there it is. So yeah, we got to mask out this section, and we got to mask out part of this. Now I'm going to, not go to like if I was doing this really well, I'd have to go in and really detail all of these and have very complex masks. We're going to keep it fairly simple for you. Now on here, masking isn't one of your windows that's already open. Now we can just alter this, but I always like to actually click in here and make a new one and call it masking. So you can see I get a drop down type of workshop, and I've got VFX, and there's masking. So I'm going to put that up. Now I've got my masking tab open. Now this is showing me my node window here. I can set this up over here. I can use my timeline if I need to here, but I've got one down here. So what I might do is just change this one over here and make that a image editor. No, just wait, we want it to be a preview. Let's go render a window and see if it pulls that up. Okay, I've got that. Nope. So it's not that one. What am I looking for? Video sequence. Don't worry, we'll do that in the other one. If we put the compositor in there. No, we've already got the compositor in there. Image editor, UV editor, maybe? No, that's not what we want. Sorry guys, I'm stuffing you around. Okay, we won't worry about that. We'll just leave it where it was. It was on timeline, wasn't it? Okay, so we'll leave that there, but I'm not too worried about that. And I'm just going to flip back to the compositing window. It's going to be easier if we do that. Okay, so we need to open a movie clip. The movie clip's already in the program, and we are going to be masking the green screen one. So when we click in here, we should be able to get our green screen footage. You may have to go open, but if you've already done this bit, you should be able to get it. Otherwise, open up the green screen footage from the folder you got this from. Click in that. Zoom out so that you can see the whole thing in here, or the area we're going to be masking. So the little area was like a little dark patch probably here. So we are going to create a mask. So I'm going to show you how to create this mask. Now at the moment we need to make sure that's on mask. And we're going to mask, we're in there. Okay. So we're going to add a little mask to try and capture that little bit there. Now if you press Control, hold the Control button down and left click your mouse, it creates a node, and you create another one and another one and another one and another one, and we don't quite join them up. Now what we do is if we press Alt C, it will join that mask up, so it will create a mask there. Now we need to have a look at our mask here, and we are going to, this is a kind of invert mask. So a mask can be used in two ways. It can be used to hide something behind that mask, or it can be used to hide everything else except for what's in the mask. We want the latter. We want to hide what's in the mask, and I found when doing this for the experiment that I had to actually click on this one here to get it to flip the mask. Otherwise, when we put the mask in, it's in there. Now we also have to put masks down here and here. Now I'm going to make life easier for you. We're just going to zoom in on this with the scroll wheel, and I could make like 3 or 4 masks in here to get all this detail, but I'm just going to go straight across here, down here, and basically get around the engine. So I'm holding down Control. Oops, undo. All right, that one's done. No. Deselect that. Make sure you press A twice to deselect that, and then you can make a separate mask. So I'm just going to grab that. Control, Enter. Oh, undo. Control, Enter. Control, Enter. I'm just going to basically remove all of this. Now, if I want to grab that, I can just sort of click on it and drag it. If I'm not happy with the position, that'll become very important in a bit. And I'm just going to work my way around the mask here like that. That's a nice straight line. I'll take that down to here, down to here, down to here, down to here. And again, I'm going to ignore some of these bits and pieces and make them disappear. And just try and get this as close as I can to where I want it. Now, we can do a thing called feathering the mask, which gives you, if you get this thing where it jumps out of place, go back to the last one, and then just go back and use a few more dots. If it seems to double up and go, sort of sometimes tries to jump to something else. Okay. So remember, we have to enclose this mask off. It will try and enclose it off with wherever it thinks it needs to go. You're better off getting it fairly close, so to there. And then it's Alt-C to finish that mask off. Double select everything so it's all deselected. So these are all becoming active part of one essential mask. Now, I really didn't need to do all of this because what have I got here? I've got the green screen here. That bit's already working, so I probably didn't need to do any more than that, but I have. So let's leave it for the moment. So in here, we'll keep that in mind. So my mask only has to cover over that area, come around here and cover over that area. So Control, click on there, click on there, click on there. I don't even need to, remember, I don't even need to go back there. So what am I doing? Just come down here, Control, click to there, 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 there. Make sure I'm inside the green part so it's actually working. And then Alt-C. So when you select everything, all of this, it's 3 individual bits, but they're treated as one mask. Okay, and you can see we've got this symbol up here now. We're going to call this gyro. Give it a name. That's my mask name, because you might have 5 masks or 10 masks that you're using in a particular animation. Now, when we go back to compositing, we are going to bring our mask in here, and we're going to add it as an input. So we're going to add input mask. Now I'm going to duplicate this, and we'll see if we can put a duplicate of the mask on here, and we're going to put that in there as well into factor. Now what that's going to mean is it's going to control which bits of this image and this image get mixed together. Now we have to tell it which one to do, and we have to go, so if I go to my viewer, there we go. So you can see it has cut out those sections, and it's not showing those in here. Now we may have to go convert, I'm not sure, we'll see. Alright, so this is after all of that. So now, has it got rid of the house? Yes, it has. It has masked out that. Has it got rid of the grass from the background there? Yes, it has. And that's how we do a mask in Blender. Now, we're going to see some problems here. And it'll become obvious when you animate it, but if I move to, say, here, what do we notice up here? What we notice over here, you're not seeing it, is bits of the house are showing up in there now. Now, why is that happening? Well, that becomes obvious when we see the mask, because the mask is in the same place, but the animation has moved. So if I go back to my mask layer, let's have a look at what's happening to my mask. So I'm just going to lift this all up. Can you see what's happened? because I didn't use a tripod when I was filming this, my hand is shaking all over the place, and that means my mask is moving. So it means what I need to do is I need to actually animate the mask. So when I come back here, I need to just check these are not too far out. So it's good from frame 1 to about there. It starts to go wrong. So let's go to about frame 70. So what we're going to do is we're going to click on this is our record button, which will record keyframes. I'm going to press this, and I'm just going to I pressed A twice there. I'm pressing box, and I'm just going to do each of these at a time. Now I've selected all of that, and I'm hoping that I'll be able to just move the whole mask when it gets to there. So that's about as bad as it gets there. So if I press G for grab, I can just sort of tweak that around and hopefully get that perfectly aligned. So now I can check it's now working pretty well. It's a little bit far that way. So I'm going to press grab, move it back. So I'm just adjusting these keyframes so that it is always in position. That's pretty good. Not moving my camera. Oh, staying moved there. So grab it, move it. Grab it, move it, if it's not moving too much. So in a big movie or something, they would do this every single frame. They would have the mask adjusted. Or if you had a tripod, of course, and of course not all shots can have a tripod. So a lot of shots you, I'm just going to stretch this bottom bit out so I see the whole thing there. A lot of shots don't have, you can see the little yellow lines are showing where I've moved the mask. There. Up a bit. Now here, when I move this up a bit, you can see I'm getting some of that through there. I can grab an individual node off here and I can change the shape, and that node will change shape as it goes. So I can actually actively animate the mask quite a lot. Well, way out in those last 10 frames. So box again, AA, deselect, B for box, box the whole lot because I'm moving the whole lot. Grab that there, and I might have to do this keyframe by keyframe. Grab every couple of keyframes anyway. Now I'm probably going to have to do that with looking pretty good. So we'll run through, well, a bit out of whack there, so just anywhere where it's a bit out of whack, just push it back in place. Not worried about that so much, that's not too bad, and that will probably be okay. Alright, don't worry if it goes beyond or out the back side of that, obviously that's going to be all sorts of over the place. Alright, so your job now is to do the same for each of these. Make sure as they move you are getting them in place. I'm going to pause this and do it on mine, but you are going to go and remember B for box, select that, and then move it for each of your frames until it is right all the way through. Alright, so I've animated that. They're pretty rough, but if I run through that, this is a pretty big mask and the little area is quite small, so I haven't had to change that, I don't think. But this one I've had to change quite a bit, and even though it's moving a little bit, you can see it moving, it's still within the green screen, although there's a couple of frames there you can see where it's jumped. So that's what you're looking for, is a little major jump. And if you can identify that frame, move it on that frame. Oh, there it is, bang. Alright, so let's look at that, there we are. G for grab, grab that, move that back. And then I might want to go frame by frame here. That's okay, that's going to be within bounds. So I'm just looking to see if it gets within the green screen range. There we go, there's one problem there. See, that's gone out. We're going to see the grass if we go there, so we need to get in, move that one. So sometimes you have to go individual frame. Sometimes you can go 10 frames. It depends how much I'm moving the camera. Alright, so back to compositing. Back to the final viewer node here. So what we should see throughout the whole thing is the grass not appearing down the bottom there. So I'm just going to pull that out. So it should be pretty good in there and in there, which it is throughout, and we shouldn't see bits of the backyard showing up as we go. Okay, so let's render that out and see how it looks. Same process as before, and in fact I'm going to save this over, I'm just going to change it from green screen test to mask test. So in here I'm just going to go mask test. Okay, that's ready to go. And up here to render animation. Now I'll just pause this while this is rendering. Okay, so it's finished recording, so we're going into render and view animation, and you should see now that the back end here is masked out nicely, and you can see where there's slight movement. You're getting these little bits in here. So as I said, to do this properly you would really need to go in frame by frame and really intricately do this, but that can take you a long time. So for just a general video or something like that, it's going to be good enough for you to get the idea of how to do it, and it's working just fine. So we've now got my young son many years ago now, flying at 500 feet above the farm, or maybe 200 feet. Anyway, that's it. Thank you for watching.